Yo, what's good, Soul Tribe? Thank you for being the vibe. As always, it's your host doing the most, G3E, the one and only. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Spread, where we take the journey within, and on this path we are led, yeah? Interesting. Today I'm taking a walk, so don't mind me if my breathing comes across a bit funny. But yeah, man, people will only receive us from their point of view or their understanding, from how they understand life to be. And, it's not for us to tell them how to receive us. They will only receive us from their, point of view or how they see things. Because, you might do one thing. Let's say you help a beggar on the street, one person might look at that as an act of, humanitarianism, you're loving people, you're helping the impoverished, and somebody else might just think you're wasting your time. But it doesn't necessarily matter how these actions are viewed, but more about the person who's doing them and how it makes them feel, the contribution that they seek to make in the world and the impact that they'd like to leave, right? And I even think about how, in the Bible, even Jesus had haters. Even he had people who looked at his good deeds and good acts in a way that was unfavorable. So I think it's a reminder to us all to say that we are not exempt from ridicule, we are not exempt from haters, we are not exempt from challenges, because even as we pursue these positive changes, as we're going on this journey within, there are going to be people, places and spaces that don't necessarily welcome us, or perhaps even reject us, or push us out because of their perception, because of their own agendas, because of the things that they seek to do, achieve or accomplish that are out of line with our way of being, our way of doing. I mean, even right now, I'm walking past a group of people who are like turning all the way up, and I'm just thinking there's a version of me that would be like super into that right now, but I understand that my type of fun is different. It's not the same like that anymore, and that's fine. Just because I'm not doing something that they're doing, I don't judge them. Let them live, and that comes with the acceptance and so on. So, just going back to what I'm saying, it's like, if people are only going to receive us from their own perspective, and we are not exempt from, people's views of what might be right or wrong, then why stop? Why let that discourage us? Because you could be the savior of the world, you could be Jesus, but somebody's going to look at you like you're crazy. Like the things that you are inspiring, the things that you are teaching are actually nonsense. And you need to be very disciplined. You need to have a boundary and be very much aware of yourself and who you are. Another side of that comes to mind is that some people don't like us because we reflect to them what they are not. That they too had opportunities to rise and ascend, and it's like you are a representation of the God within them that they were not able to, tap into, to hone in on, or ultimately embody. So when you are faced with these people, places and spaces that are going to, push you out or reject you, you are now being called to do one of two things. It's either you're going to crumble under that pressure, or you're going to stand firm, stand further, cemented in your values, hold your boundary, and be true to who you are. If I'm to just give an example of what I experienced today, I work with a team of people, and we're in a meeting and we're reviewing all the work that we've done. It's called like a retrospective. And interesting, I'm calling it a retrospective, and we're looking back at how the project went, and we were talking about checkpoints in the previous reading, how crazy these things come together, right? Or previous message, how you're going to look at it. But anyways, so what ends up happening is in an attempt to do something that is favorable to the team, and actually like speaking openly and honestly, like, hey guys, let's check if this is actually going to work out for the team, because someone had altered another person's feedback within the retrospective. And you think to yourself like, but wait, this should be an open space, we should be capable of speaking openly and honestly, but there are some opinions that are not well received. And instead of speaking up about that opinion not being well received, someone now goes and alters it or removes it altogether, which doesn't necessarily solve the problem. It's shying away, it's mitigating what actually needs to happen, what actually needs to take place for the greatest good. So if people really do want the greatest good, I mean, you should allow those discussions to take place so that we can have this open conversation, we can have this dialect that is uplifting, that is nourishing, encouraging, teaching, because every moment is a moment to learn, right? You gotta be studious. So having highlighted that, hey guys, someone's feedback was actually removed, it became a war, it became a battle as to what is the right approach. Should the feedback not be anonymous or not? And whether it is anonymous or not, the whole point of it being removed speaks to disrespect. It speaks to, even maybe some kind of bullying. And that just speaks to how a group of people who are supposed to be a team, a unit, cohesive family, relationships, whatever you want to call it. I think this example will apply to many different people in different ways, that there are so many things that go unsaid. And if somebody's truly bothered by you pursuing the light, pursuing, the upliftment, the encouragement, the nourishment of everyone involved, then why does that bother them so much? Why does it weigh on them so much? Especially when you know you have good intentions, especially when you know that you want to do good, not just by yourself, but by everyone involved. So even good intentions, good ideas can be received negatively. And the question is now, how are we going to deal with those things? How are we going to confront the haters? How do we deal with those who intend to block or limit or place restriction on our expression of these versions that we are embodying? You want to shine bright, they want to dim your light, You want to change your diets, they want to tell you that you're crazy. I mean, how many things do we do that others just have opinions about, which are not necessarily adding to the mission? And like I said, even Jesus had haters. Jesus had people who wanted to kill him. And we know how Jesus' story goes, right? But I'm just using that as an example again to say, who are we, man? Who are we, honestly, to think that we are exempt? And we are going to have challenges. But as we pursue our mission, as we go, as we grow, as we flow, we will remember that we have to stick to the agenda. We have to spread light. We have to spread love. No matter the challenges, no matter the obstacles, we have to hold our ground. And because God sees all, because God sees everything, we then know that we are vindicated. Our salvation rests in Him. There's nothing for us to concern ourselves with or about when we know that God sees all. And we just have faith. We just believe in the truth. We believe in justice taking effect at its time, at its place, when it should, of course. So why worry? Why stress? This is like watching a movie and knowing that you're always going to win at the end. The main character, saves the day at the end. I'm thinking about that Taken movie with Liam Neeson. It's like, yo, bruh, you can get taken once, you get taken twice, but you still get your family back, You still get your abundance, you still get your riches, you still get your blessing. So why are you stressing, my G? Hey, God, hey, Goddess, what's your problem? But again, your problem is, not in a bad light, but you are the solution as well. So let's flip that around. What's your solution? What's your view of what it is that you're experiencing? Can you see that this is actually a blessing? Can you see that this is teaching you resilience, fortitude, so you can be of a greater magnitude? Come on, man. We're elevating our chair, we're growing, we're expanding our chair. And this is what we asked for, right? These are the things that we prayed for. So how do we think that we are not going to be challenged? That we are not going to be tested to see if we are worthy of these new versions, these new experiences, these new blessings that we want to embody? Because not everybody gets them. Not everybody passes these tests. Not everybody elevates to a point that they can say that they are now on this new plateau, on this new level, you know. I'm on a new level. Hey, you know what it is. You know what it is. So as we rise, as we ascend, as we continue to build our holistic selves, you know, let us just remember that we are not exempt from challenges. We are going to go through tough things. We are going to have difficult people who don't receive us well, who don't see the light in what it is that we are doing. And again, if we are all studious, maybe they too can see us and want to learn from us, want to participate, grow, learn, evolve with us. But it's not for our journey, because not everybody's on the same frequency. And that's why I appreciate everyone that is here with me in this community, in this tribe, because we have chosen to align ourselves. And in the next video that I put out, I'm going to speak about this alignment, because there's a very easy and simple way to achieve alignment. And I believe it's something that I need to share. I've been called to share it. It actually came to me in the shower. So there's definitely something to this, and I would love to share it with you all. But yeah, thank you for joining me on my walk around the lake, you know, with the birdies, with the trees. It's so beautiful to be in nature, man. And you know, go outside, get some sunshine, take a walk, my G. You know, just enjoy, just be present, just be live, be direct. You know, you and the spirit will intersect, my G. Like, that's what's up. You know, my gods, my goddesses, let's look at ourselves through the eyes of Source. Know that how great you are, how abundant, how powerful, how magnificent we are. Let's see ourselves as godly as we are, honestly. It's time. So yeah, as always, team, thank you, gang. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day further. I send love and light your way. And yeah, let us not go astray. Avoid the decay. Follow the way, the truth, the light. That's what's up, gang. That's what's up, team. And I'll catch you next time. Peace and love. Yeah, yeah.